A request came in from a channel visitor the other day that asked me to create a video on a specific topic dealing with husbands who are, they try to carry on their life like they're still single. So she writes, Deb, if you haven't yet, can you please do a video about men who continue to behave as though they're still single when they're married and have kids, bills, and other commitment related responsibilities? And at first I declined because I feel like this channel has, almost 700 videos now which deal with people having those kinds of behavioral issues in a relationship, whether they're married or not, because this is an issue with integrity, keeping one's word, and being committed to what you have said that you'd be committed to. So I didn't really see where it was that necessary, especially since this channel primarily deals with singles. But I decided to include it just briefly. I'm not going to be making this very long, to kind of touch on this kind of behavior and this kind of attitude, and primarily why you women put up with it. Now that's where it gets interesting, because men that do this kind of thing, I mean, you can't stop them. Okay, so for me to address that, you cannot stop them from doing this kind of nasty behavior and disrespecting you, disrespecting their marriage, disrespecting their children, their parents, everything. They just are just clowns. So, there's nothing we can really do, and nothing I can really tell you that's going to make them do anything. What we have to concentrate on is you, because it is my belief that there are signs when a man has this kind of attitude. Some of them will come right out and say it. Like they have this very sexist idea about what marriage is supposed to be. You're in the kitchen, you're barefoot and pregnant. They make reference to the good old days when women did this and knew their place and all this kind of stuff. They believe in submission. They believe in being the head and, like the dictator of the household. So all of you women who go for men who have that kind of attitude, this is what you're going to get. Because he has this attitude that he can do whatever he wants to because he's the man and you're just a mere woman. So if you got that kind of man in your life and that's what you out here looking for, then this is the kind of guy that you're going to find. He's going to already have this attitude, whether he's acted on it yet or not. He's just waiting for the opportunity. He's probably online somewhere seeking that opportunity out. Most of the men that you will see that are out on these websites, trying to date people, there's certain websites that are just for married men and married women too, trying to cheat. They are primarily filled with men, though, according to the statistics I was looking at. And they're looking for people to have, quote, discreet relationships with. It used to be all in, the personal ads in the newspapers and everything. Everything, of course, is gone online, but it's the same mentality. So when you look at what the difference in what women see as a solid marriage and what men view as marriage, like, just a convenience for them to have somebody to cook and clean for them and take care of them when they're sick and raise their children while they continue to do whatever they want to do, it becomes an issue is, what is it that you ladies are using to determine that this guy is a appropriate man for marriage? That's what I really want to know, because a lot of these dudes, they're already cheating before you even get engaged to them. They having babies with other women before you get, before you even marry them. They are just ducking and dodging and doing all kinds of telling you lies and doing all kind of stuff, but you marry them anyway. I remember I just did a video last week about a woman who walked in on her groom. They weren't married yet. They were getting married like a day or two later. Assaulting one of her bridesmaids, and she married him anyway. So you see what I mean? There's some issues here that I don't understand, how you guys are choosing husbands. So if you have a guy that has, say for instance, he's been in a baby mama situation and he's got a couple of kids and he doesn't really take care of those, that's a sign that this guy does not have what it takes to be committed long term to anything. If he can't be committed to his own flesh and blood, please explain to me how you made some kind of illogical leap that he can be committed to you and any children that you have with him. A man is either a commitment minded, solid individual who thinks about the people he loves and cares about them and does what he needs to do to care for them and protect them, or he's not. So these little mental gymnastics that you guys kind of do, where you like, well, he didn't do it for her, but he'll do it for dude. No, that's who he is. Accept it for what is. This is it. This is the dude. That's who he is. It doesn't matter that he had the baby with you and this and that and this and that. It's that because he's still the father. So it shouldn't matter who the mother is. That's still his seed that made that little person. And he's neglecting and ignoring that person. Please understand, that's the kind of knucklehead that you're trying to get married to, somebody who doesn't give a shit about his kids. So to me, every man who's like that is automatically eliminated as a potential husband. All of them. They got multiple kids all over the place. They've been married to none of them women. No, he's not. That's not husband material. Now he should have never been even considered to be a husband. Likewise with the ones who want, like I said, demand submission, or tell you what you can't do, where you can't go, what you can't wear, all this kind of stuff. Control freaks. They're going to make your life miserable. You got to have a guy who's crazy with money and spends like there's no tomorrow, got fucked up credit. It shows a lack of responsibility and a lack of accountability. That's nobody that you marry. So it shouldn't come as a surprise. That's why I was looking at this question, like, what is she talking about? It should not come as a surprise when you get married and he wants to continue living his life the way that he did before he married you, because he doesn't see it as being like a solid commitment where this is where his heart is, and he would do anything to keep from hurting you or hurting his kids. That's the only kind of man that you should marry. Seriously. Now, this is not to say that one of those guys might 10, 15, 20 years down the road, 5 years, I don't know, might have some situation that comes up. Shit, you might be the one that has a situation that comes up, and one or both of you end up tipping outside the marriage. That happens. What you gonna do, I can't tell you how that's gonna work, because that is strictly an individual decision. Some people go to counseling and get over it. Other people just can't get over it and they get a divorce. So that's your decision. I have no input there. That has to be based on, what you feel like you can tolerate, work with, what you understand, what you forgive, and all this kind of stuff. That's you. But I'm talking about, these kind of guys, when you already have everything in front of you that you need to make a good decision about his marriageability and the long-term possibilities for drama and heartbreak. Some of you are just so focused on being somebody's wife that you ignore all of those red flags and warnings that this guy is not husband material under any circumstances. And even something as simple as, you out with a dude and he claims he loves you and all this and stuff, all that, but he's iffy. You can't really find him sometimes, or he makes promises and then he doesn't deliver, or you find out that he's staring at women too much, or he just got something going on, too many women calling him, all his friends and all this kind of stuff, and you're kind of distressed about it. It's bothering you. You don't really feel like you hold the number one position in his life. Okay, that's not a man that you would marry. These are all red flags warning you that this example that she gave here, that's the kind of man that you have. That's what he's going to be doing. That's how he's going to behave, because that's who he is. So, if you don't have that kind of commitment going in the door, you're not going to have it later. If you don't have it while you're dating him, while he's, showing you the kind of man that he is and letting you know that he's ready to take that step and that you can count on him and that he'll be right there for you and any children that you have in the future, well, then that's not a man that you marry. Man, you guys got to take marriage a lot more seriously and stop looking at it as a goal to achieve, like it's on a checklist of your life or something. That's what it seems. That's what I'm getting from a lot of young ladies. They want to be married, and they look at the big wedding and the fanciness and the fun and the party and the gown and all the stuff. But what happens after the party's over? That's the marriage. You talking about the wedding? That's just a one day. But you're going to be looking at this person for years. I mean, ideally the rest of your life, but good luck with that. But for years and years, you are getting married with the plan that this is going to be your mate for life. So you got to put a lot more thought into it. And the main thing is, if you see that this is what's going on with your dude, right? He starts showing these signs of being iffy and silly. Okay, why would you have children with him? Okay, he's like a child already. You taking care of him, you running around, you making sure the money's right, you cleaning up after him. He's half stepping and half working, all this kind of stuff. And you see that this is the kind of dude that you got. Even you may have been already married to him, but then he relaxes and this is what you see. Then why would you have children with him? See, so it's like, I'm not saying that you guys all have the skill set to recognize all of these things right off the bat, but there's 700 damn videos on this channel that will teach you how to do that. Avail yourself of them. Do not make stupid decisions about men just because you have this hunger to be somebody's wife. Okay, make some sensible decisions so you don't end up miserable and looking old, getting ulcers and all kinds of other problems because of the stress that you're under because you made a poor choice for a mate. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, use your head. Use your head. I mean, you can love him and stuff, but that's fine. Just date him. You don't have to marry him. Okay, do not tie your credit up with his. Don't you buy him nothing. Don't you sign on no paperwork. Don't you buy no house with him. Don't you even buy a fucking dog or plant with him. Nothing. Y'all just date. Okay? And that's how you save yourself from drama, because you can up and out anytime it gets, too much for you. Once you get married, start having a whole bunch of kids and all involved financially, it becomes a lot more problematic to extricate yourself and end things. A lot more problems for yourself. So be wise, be smart. And if you see that you have a man who's behaving in any kind of way that indicates that he is not on the same page as you about commitment, accountability, and responsibility, please, please, please do not ignore those red flags. And if you don't, then you won't end up like what she's talking about here on this video. Ignore them at your own peril. All right? Please don't do that. Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. I will talk to you very, very soon. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber, and share a link or two to get the word out. I appreciate the help. Bye-bye.